I got one side. Wow, I just can't get this. So, yeah, this is very difficult. If you don't have an insane amount of soldering experience... Oh, I just lost the part. Oh well. No big deal. I'll just use a solder blob to bridge it. No big shit. But once you reroute that component, you'll actually re-enable the solder pad on the bottom side of this adapter, which will allow you to add an antenna. There we go. It was a little nerve-wracking, but once we flip this over, there's our solder pads. Whoop. So we've got the card, I've got the antenna prepped, or the coax prepped. By that I mean I just pre-tinned all the shield, and I pre-tinned the signal, and we know that the outer rim of this is our shield. Add a little bit of solder, and we're going to add a little bit of solder to the inner ring, which we know is our signal, and we're going to take our wire, we're going to solder on our signal. We're going to solder on the shield, or attempt to. There. That should be a little bit easier for me. See, having a desk vise for this kind of stuff, very, very handy. Also, while I was prepping the card, I realized that the component that was mysteriously flung into the air and lost completely makes absolutely no substantial impact in the performance of this, because that was only to balance the load of the antenna itself. So what I did was I ran a continuity test, and I found out that the solder pads that thing hooked up to was completely useless towards this pad here. So we have this pad hooked up, and we've got our shield, so bring this to our shield. That works. Now, hopefully when I hit this center conductor, it doesn't go off. Okay, we've got a short somewhere. Let's take a look at our signal conductor. Yep, there's a short somewhere. So I got to go back in, and I got to figure out where this short is. In fact, I think I can actually see it. So here's where we'll take some desoldering braid. And the desoldering braid, or the desoldering wick as it's called in some places, will suck up all of the excess solder and make this a lot easier to remove. There we go. Now we have a nice fresh clean slate to try yet again. You know what I think? I think that the signal conductor on this is just way too long, and it's crossing over into the shield. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit, as small as possible. Now I'll try to solder it on. It helps if I had solder on the pads. A little bit of solder there. A little bit of solder there. Solder in signal. Solder in shield. Looks like crap, nonetheless. Now we're going to take our multimeter, and we're going to go to the shield, then the signal. Alright, Let's try it on this side. Alright, here's the shield. On this end. Signal on this end. Alright, no cross, no contact. That's good. Shield to shield, works just fine. I'm going to switch over signal to signal. Get a good connect this time. Come on. It helps if the signal end on this end was bare. Come on. Normally this would work, it's just I forgot to strip the other end of this damned coax. There it goes. Works just fine. Does it cross with shield? No. There you go. Now this card's modified with about 2.5 to 3 inches of coax. I'm going to zoom out and show you how small this really is. Yeah. This card's about the size of my thumb. This coax is just a couple of millimeters in diameter. And, like I said, if you don't have very good soldering skills, I would try to stay as far away from USB sticks as possible. Hope you enjoyed the shot of my crotch. I hope you learned something. Hit the show notes that are on the forums for a little bit more tech info. Or for if you need some help with your technique, you can always hop on bsodIRC.org. Hop on IRC and give us a chat. Alright, buggers, piss off. I'm done with this.